Do you remember the boy who was labeled as brainless? Here's what his life looks like after 9 years. Born with only 2% of his brain, doctors predicted he wouldn't survive. However, 9 years later, he is not just alive, he is thriving in ways that defy explanation. Shelley softly placed her hand on her large belly, feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety. She and her husband Rob were excitedly looking forward to welcoming their third child. The nursery was all set, with tiny clothes neatly arranged in drawers, and a sense of expectation filled their home. But everything changed during a routine ultrasound. The doctor's expression turned grave as she examined the images. "There are serious abnormalities," she said gently. "Your baby has spina bifida, hydrocephalus, and very little brain tissue developing." Shelley and Rob were taken aback. Spina bifida indicates that the spine isn't properly formed, while hydrocephalus involves fluid accumulation in the brain. With so little brain tissue, how could their baby possibly survive? In the months that followed, doctors suggested terminating the pregnancy 5 times, but each time, Shelley and Rob stood their ground. They felt a strong need to fight for their child. "We recognize the risks," Rob declared firmly, "but we want to give our baby every possible chance at life." This was a tough choice, and they were aware that the journey ahead would be challenging. As the pregnancy progressed, they navigated 2 realities. On one side, they prepared for their baby by purchasing adorable outfits and setting up the nursery. On the other, they contemplated a tiny coffin and made funeral arrangements. It was a bizarre situation, hoping for the best while getting ready for the worst. Shelley's pregnancy was fraught with anxiety and numerous medical visits. Every kick and movement reminded her of the precious life growing inside her, a life that was already encountering major challenges. They received support from family, friends, and organizations for parents of children with spina bifida and hydrocephalus. They educated themselves about their baby's condition, striving to be as prepared as possible for the challenges ahead. As Shelley's due date approached, their anxiety intensified. Would their baby survive the birth? What kind of life would he have if he did? Despite the uncertainty, Shelley and Rob held on to hope, and their love for their unborn child grew stronger each day. Finally, on March 6, 2012, the day arrived. Shelley was brought to the hospital, her heart racing with a blend of excitement and anxiety. The delivery room was tense, filled with specialists ready for anything. Shelley squeezed Rob's hand, gaining strength from his presence. She was finally wheeled into the operating room. A team of 12 doctors gathered for the C-section, the room filled with intense focus. When Noah was delivered, there was a brief, breathless silence before a tiny cry filled the air. The medical team quickly rushed him to another operating room to address his spina bifida and drain the excess cerebrospinal fluid from his skull. The surgery was delicate and complex, with the doctors working carefully to repair Noah's spine and manage the fluid buildup in his brain. Hours passed, and Rob waited anxiously. Finally, a doctor came out with news that felt almost miraculous. The surgery had been successful. Noah had survived both his birth and this critical initial procedure. However, the medical team's amazement was mixed with serious concern. Scans showed that Noah had been born with only 2% of his brain, leaving the doctors stunned and pessimistic about his future. The doctors believed Noah would likely spend his life in a vegetative state, if he survived at all. Despite these grim forecasts, the little boy had already begun to beat the odds. He had taken his first breaths, survived a complex surgery, and shown a will to live that surprised everyone around him. As Noah was moved to the neonatal intensive care unit, his parents stood by his side, amazed by their tiny fighter. They knew the road ahead would be tough, filled with uncertainties and potential heartbreak. but in those first crucial days he had already proven himself to be a miracle. As weeks turned into months, Noah continued to defy expectations. He wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. He started to reach milestones that doctors had said would be impossible. He smiled, laughed, and recognized his parents. With each small victory, Shelley and Rob's decision to fight for their son was validated, and their hope for Noah's future grew stronger. Noah's early years were filled with intense treatments. His parents were determined to give him every chance to develop, despite the grim prognosis from his doctors. This meant frequent visits to various specialists, especially his neurologist and physiotherapist. Every month, Noah saw his neurologist. These visits were crucial for monitoring the pressure in his brain and managing his hydrocephalus. The doctor attentively examined Noah's reflexes, muscle tone, and overall responsiveness. Regular brain scans were done to track any changes in his brain structure and function. The neurologist adjusted his treatment plan as needed, explaining to Shelley and Rob how these adjustments might affect Noah, and emphasizing the importance of watching for any changes in his behavior or alertness. His treatment also heavily focused on physiotherapy and cognitive training. He worked with a physiotherapist every week, using specialized techniques to stimulate his muscles and nervous system. These sessions were challenging, but Noah's determination shone through as he worked hard to make even the smallest movements. The physiotherapy sessions included cognitive elements, effectively training the brain while working on Noah's body. Shelley and Rob were taught exercises to do with their little boy at home, turning everyday activities into therapy opportunities. Bath time became a chance to work on Noah's sensory processing, while diaper changes were used to practice rolling and core strength exercises. As Noah grew, his cognitive training became more structured. A team of specialists designed a program combining speech therapy, occupational therapy, and early childhood education. These sessions used play-based activities to stimulate his brain development. The cognitive training focused on attention, memory, and problem-solving skills. Therapists used music, lights, and tactile experiences to engage Noah's senses and encourage brain activity. They also introduced simple games and activities that became more complex as he demonstrated progress. Throughout this routine, Noah's parents were his biggest advocates and supporters. They meticulously documented every small sign of progress, no matter how minute it seemed. They researched tirelessly, always looking for new treatments or therapies that might benefit their son. The routine was exhausting for the entire family, but they persevered, driven by their love for Noah and their unwavering belief in his potential. Despite the challenges, there were moments of joy and celebration with each tiny milestone their little boy achieved. When he was 5 years old, something happened that left doctors scratching their heads in disbelief. Sorry for the interruption. Before we continue with the story, I kindly ask you to like the video and subscribe to this channel. It is very important for us. Thank you very much. A routine brain scan showed that Noah's brain, which had been virtually non-existent at birth, had grown. Not just a little, but a lot. It had expanded from a brain capacity of 2% to 70%. It's like his brain is playing catch-up, one doctor marveled. We've never seen anything like this before. The medical community was buzzing with excitement. How was this possible? Some theories propose that Noah's brain had always been present, simply compressed by the fluid. Authors believed his brain was growing and developing new tissue. Whatever the explanation, one thing was clear. Noah Wall was rewriting medical textbooks. As the once brainless boy grew, so did his abilities. He learned to speak, use a tablet, and express his thoughts and feelings. He showed a special interest in science and space. His parents were amazed at his intelligence and curiosity, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. Noah faced numerous challenges due to his condition. The spina bifida left him paralyzed from the chest down, confining him to a wheelchair. He required frequent medical checkups and procedures to manage his hydrocephalus. Simple tasks that most kids take for granted were often huge hurdles for Noah. Yet his spirit remained unbreakable. He approached each challenge with determination. His positive attitude was amazing, inspiring everyone around him. Despite all the obstacles, Noah enrolled in a regular school, kept up with his peers academically, and made friends. But school also brought new challenges. Noah had to navigate bullying from some kids who didn't understand his condition. Undeterred, he saw this as an opportunity to educate others about his differences. With support from his teachers and family, Noah created a presentation about his condition to share with his classmates. He learned to answer questions about his wheelchair and surgeries with patience and good humor. As his classmates began to understand, they became his strongest supporters. Through his perseverance and openness, Noah not only overcame the social challenges of school, but also helped create a more inclusive environment for everyone. As he approached his 9th birthday, his brain expanded to 80% of its original size. His family gathered to celebrate his birthday. Shelley and Rob watched with tears as Noah enjoyed his special day, a simple celebration that seemed impossible just a few years ago. The room was filled with laughter and joy, starkly contrasting the somber atmosphere surrounding Noah's birth. "Happy birthday, sweetheart," Shelley said, her voice thick with emotion. Noah beamed at his parents, his face lit up with excitement. "Thank you, Mom and Dad. I really love birthdays." Rob knelt beside his wheelchair, touching his son's shoulder gently. "You know what, buddy? Every birthday with you is a miracle. We're so proud of you." As the party continued, Shelley and Rob reflected on the incredible journey they had been through with their son. They remembered the countless nights spent in the hospital, the grueling therapy sessions, and the moments of fear and uncertainty. But they also recalled the first time Noah smiled, his first words, and every small victory that had led them to this point. As the party came to an end, Noah excitedly talked about his plans for the coming year. He shared about his ongoing physiotherapy, his studies, and his dreams for the future. Despite the challenges he faced, his spirit remained unbreakable, inspiring everyone around him. The next day, Noah had an appointment with his neurologist. As they entered the hospital, the doctor greeted them with a warm smile, amazed as always by the boy's progress. "Let's take a look at your latest scans, shall we?" the neurologist said, pulling up the images on the computer screen. The doctor pointed out various areas of his brain, explaining how it had continued to develop and grow. Noah's brain is doing something truly remarkable. It's adapting and finding new ways to function. Shelley, Rob, and Noah listened closely, their eyes filled with curiosity. His mom asked, "Will his brain keep growing until it's completely formed?" The neurologist's expression softened. "It's hard to say for certain. His brain has already surprised us in so many ways. We'll keep monitoring its progress and supporting his development in every way we can." As they left the hospital, Noah's mind was buzzing with questions and possibilities. He turned to his parents, determination etched on his face. "I want to learn more about the brain," he declared. "Maybe if I understand it better, I can help other kids like me." Seeing Noah's passion and determination, Shelley and Rob wanted to support his curiosity and help him learn more. They decided to encourage his interest in science by buying books about the human body and signing him up for online science courses for kids. Noah was thrilled and jumped into his studies with excitement. He often stayed up late reading about neuroscience and asked his teachers questions that really impressed them. Despite the challenges Noah faced due to his spina bifida and hydrocephalus, he continued to defy expectations. He learned to surf and ski, using specialized equipment and dedicated instructors to adapt these activities to his abilities. Noah's story gained attention, inspiring families all over the globe. Shelley and Rob received messages from parents of children with similar conditions, all drawing hope from their special boy. Noah's journey was far from over, but one thing was certain. He would continue to defy expectations and inspire others with his unbreakable spirit. The boy who was given little chance of survival had not only lived but was thriving, proving that with love, determination, and the remarkable plasticity of the human brain, anything is possible. Did you enjoy this story? Would you have had the courage of Noah's parents? Have you by any chance had similar experiences to Noah's? Let us know in the comments below. If you like the story, please subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Noah Wall's story has to date gone viral and known worldwide, and we all wish this amazing young man the best, and to continue his amazing life. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next video. Have a great day.